It's tough to say something on a chopper has never been done before. But I think we may have accomplished that. This is Cherry Bomb, and it represents everything I think a chopper should be. A Frankenstein's monster.
The monster! It's alive!
Made with the skeleton from a madman. Way too much muscle, stiff legs, heavy-duty shoes, and very little brain power. Parts that even the good doctor wouldn't have dreamt to put together.
It's alive!
So kick back for a while as I pay tribute to a legend, make some new friends. I've been to your chopper show and show you how I took a pile of parts from our website and zapped them into something that can outrun everyone's pitchforks. But first we need to hit the road. You guys aren't going to believe where we ended up. Going down to Daytona Beach because I built this brand spanking new motorcycle and I want to ride it. So I figured get there before bike week and see if I can get some miles in the sunshine on this fancy new chopper. The twisted down tube frame is like really known. When you see one, you right away associate it with Indian Larry because he did so many wild things as with frames. Now I can't continue this video knowing some of you out there may not know who Indian Larry is. So here's the gist. Born in New York, first build, lawnmower engine and his sister's tricycle. Ups and downs growing up, lost loved ones, addiction, near-death experience, prison, parole, open gasoline alley in Brooklyn, old school Brooklyn-style choppers made for aggressive New York City riding, fame, magazine covers, biker build-off, undefeated, gone too soon. But his legend lives on with Indian Larry-inspired parts still coming out of his shop today. In fact, I used some of those parts on Cherry Bomb, and they're available at S&S Cycles. But anyway, back to the van. He did so many wild things as with frames, and they still make them by hand right there in Brooklyn. They actually weld the down tube piece to a table, and then they heat it up with 2 acetylene torches till it's like cherry red. And then 2 guys get on the other piece and they twist it one way and they twist it back the other way and so on and so forth till the down tube is finished. At the end of the day, that's really what chopper building is all about, is like building something that nobody else has that's specific to you, and these frames, no two are alike. Stoked to be in Florida, stoked to be in some warm weather, but before I can get too far, I gotta get the bike out of the van. I'm heading over here to the S&S Cycle store. Gonna meet my buddy Justin. He's gonna help me get this bike out of the van so I can go put some miles on. What's up, man?
What up, man? How are you doing?
Thanks for your help, dude.
Yeah,
appreciate
good
it.
to see you. Welcome to Daytona.
Yeah, I heard there was a shovelhead night at a local spot down here.
Yeah, the other place on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go check it out.
There's like between 20 to 40 bikes every Sunday.
Really?
Like shovels, knuckles, all old
really?
iron. Yeah.
All right, ready? It's back here. Ready?
Yeah.
There she blows.
Oh.
This is my first shovel head. I haven't built a shovel head before.
No?
No, it's my first one. You know how it is with shovels. They went from kind of like the most maligned, like you could buy them for scrap metal price for years.
Yeah.
And now every hipster is jamming them in their
They're them
period
come
correct
back.
chopper.
Everyone that can't afford a pan.
Which is everybody. All right, dude, I appreciate you, man.
Yes,
Thanks
sir,
for,
man.
thanks for the
We'll
help.
see
I
ya.
could have never done that by myself. So I am turning the wheels for the first time on the chopper here. Just looking for a few things. Need to make sure the thing rolls nice and smooth. No weird grinding noises, nothing pulling one way or the other, and the brakes work. What you might not know is you can ride your motorcycle on the beach here in Daytona, and that's where I'm going. When I was building Cherry Bomb, I started with that classic twisted down tube Indian Larry frame and an S&S shovel head. So very old school vintage style stuff. And when you're building a chopper, you're definitely building for the look, but I wanted the juxtaposition of performance parts and that really old school soul. I just want to build my version of like that classic Brooklyn Indian Larry chopper. This is a carbon fiber bagger fender from Sly Fox Racing. Carbon fiber is kind of unforgiving when you cut it. You can't, it's not like steel where you can kind of fix it. It kind of is what it is. I just love how it turned out. It really drives home performance. and it really worked well with the wheels. I wanted to use some hot rod looking wheels, these Y-spoke wheels from Ness, and they're bagger wheels that I switched some hubs out on. So as far as decorating the cake, so I had the gold on here, and like I said, the only paint is that red metal flake, little cherry bomb gas tank, which is awesome. And as luck would have it, a Strata 3 came out like it was made for this motorcycle. It's carbon fiber with that flat gold finish that just about matches perfectly to the gold accents on this bike. And they actually have a red iridium shield for it, which brings out that red tank. And it was like it was made for this motorcycle. So, of course, I had to have that lid. These are LaPera seats for choppers. I don't like spring seats. These things are nice and comfortable. Kind of a classic button finish on it. Now I just want to get out and rip this thing, man. Got a nice, beautiful day here. I'm gonna blast down that loop and see what this thing's all about. The loop is just over on the edge of town, a mix of ocean views and rolling Florida swamplands, which makes for a great spot to do a shakedown ride and see how my self-proclaimed performance chopper actually performs.
You know, it's kind of interesting when you start thinking about suspension on a chopper, because you have half of the suspension of a regular bike. You don't have anything on the back. Obviously, it's a hardtail. Some guys just mail it in on the front, thinking, oh, the chopper is not going to handle that great anyway. I actually kind of take a different approach. I kind of go hardcore suspension on the front because we're only dealing with half as much as we normally have. So in this case, I actually used 49mm bagger suspension. How I did that was with this bare knuckle performance triple tree. So it's a mid-glide tree, so it's not a big old wide bagger tree, but it actually holds 49mm suspension, so you can run really hot rod stuff. And I used 2 over tubes in gold from Ness that slide into alloy art lowers that are all machined. You can get them in raw, but I got them in black anodized, very racy looking. And then on the inside, it's a Legends cartridge kit that they also make 2 over. So everything really just kind of bolted right together. So I ended up with a really slick, kind of like chunky look that actually performs really, really well. Brakes are another area that get kind of like tossed to the back burner on a chopper. Most of the time, guys put spool front wheels on them, which I've done, looks cool, just run a back brake. But I kept wanting to lean into that performance angle with the build. What I did was I put Brembo hand controls on this thing. You know, radial master cylinders on either side. The clutch works really, really buttery smooth. Obviously, it's a hydraulic clutch. And then on the right side, I have that master cylinder driving 2 radial mount performance machine brakes that are gripping real PM floating rotors on the front. So this thing has big time brakes on it. And on the back, I threw on a PM 4-piston vintage caliper. So basically, we're dealing with like sport bike level brakes on this like chopper with a power plant that's based on something out of the 70s, which makes me giggle. A shovel head transmission from back in the day really kind of sucks. Those tapered shaft transmissions, they're not very strong, they're ugly, and they're only 4 speeds. So really the only thought I had was to go to Baker. So Baker Drivetrain out of Michigan, they're the name in Harley-Davidson drivetrain, the raciest stuff, the most bulletproof stuff. And they have a great setup called a 6 and a 4, and it is what it sounds like. It's 6 gears in a 4-speed case. You get 2 extra gears, which is really great because it allows you flexibility in gearing. You have plenty of gear to run up and cruise down the highway at 70, 75 and not have this poor old shovel head just screaming at a billion RPM.
Justin told me about a shovelhead night at a local watering hole that seemed like the perfect way to cap off my first day on the new chopper. Spending time with other grease monkeys who would appreciate Cherry Bomb for what it is. Thank you.
And the frame almost looks like one of them Indian Larry frames.
That's exactly what it is. Yep. It took me roughly 6 months from the time I put Cherry Bomb's frame on a lift to have it turning wheels in the Daytona sunshine. There's a few changes and tweaks to make, but it might already be my favorite bike. It feels good to ride something you built with your own 2 hands, and I can't encourage you enough to build something of your own. Keep the rubber side down, and I'll see you at Bike Week. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to click this code to check out our custom builds experience with more build videos, parts breakdowns, and builder Q&As. We're here to help you make your next build the best one yet.